हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग। लोग कहते हैं शादी नहीं करी, कर लो। अरे शादी कर ली, अब बच्चे सोचो। बच्चे होगा, अब और कुछ सोचो। But at the end of the day, everything is people are talking about is the different stages of life and different stages of what is expected out of you. So when you are born, and then when you start studying, then you have a job, then you have marriage, and then kids, and then whatever, maybe retirement or maybe do something. But this is this part called marriage that has everybody thinking so much. Oh, you're in the age of marriage, you should get married, you should get married. In our community, girls get married faster, this, that, lot of things. Lot of social, cultural contexts are built around marriage in our country, and that is where we have this whole idea that marriage has to be an ideal thing. It's so proper, so perfect, so ideal, and the reality we all know is totally different. Not that I'm scaring anybody who is not married yet, but when you approach marriage in a very objective way, I'm not talking about science, but very objective way, that is where you make marriage work, that it is a teamwork. And this whole idea of making your marriage successful, making it a teamwork, is what is in this book. What they don't tell you about marriage and what you need to know about it. Yashodhara Lal. It's a fabulous book because it is written from a point of view of a person who has dealt with um, couples, couples counseling, psycho therapies, making the couple um, understand themselves as individuals as well as couples together, bringing in all the theories and facts into role, bringing it into a day-to-day occurrence, and making the couples realize what they need to stop thinking about and start thinking about. So Yashodhara Lal has actually put forward a lot of things, and she has made it a wonderful way of understanding where your marriage is, which stage it is, where do you need to look forward to, how do you need to put it further, how do you need to put all those negative thoughts aside, think rationally, objectively. She has counseled and put these couples in a spot wherein they are learning to communicate, they are learning to understand themselves, and it's a very, very tricky but doable thing. So when Yashodhara talks about marriage, she also talks about how the marriage undergoes different stages like symbiosis, being together, then the differentiation because you have your own individual identities, and how you have to also understand yourself as an individual person as well as a couple. Then we have what we call as exploration, like exploring and practicing how you both behave with the external world, and how you develop your own identities in the external world but still remain a couple. And then reconnection is like connecting with yourself, your own identities, and then bringing yourself into the place wherein you understand each other as a couple but also understand your own individualities, and bring to marriage a beautiful what you call a beautiful combination that works for you, a beautiful communication that works for you, and a beautiful balance that works for you. Of course, we understand that balance doesn't mean 50-50. A balance is more in terms of complementing each other, understanding each other's strength and limitation, understanding what background you're coming from. Background is not in terms of economic or social development. Background is in terms of the experiences that have shaped you as a person and how it affects you as a couple. So when we talk about this book, Rashidra Lal also talks about different ways of interaction, communication, like transactional analysis, wherein you talk and communicate with each other in terms of a parent to adult or a child, and what kind of communication you are primarily doing with your partner, and how this impacts the marriage. So this all and much more Yashodhara has put in this particular book. So book is not preachy advice as you might think of, but it is a very um, you can say case study basis, and explain with cases, explain with experiences and examples as to how communication has to be made better, how couples have to understand each other, how your individualities have to emerge, and how your um, marriage has to be the way it has to be realistic, not an idealistic notion. So, and this all is in the Indian context, in Indian perspective. And if you are doing a major in psychology, or perhaps pursuing major, or if you're looking in for certain examples as a couple therapist, I am sure this book is going to be really very helpful, because it is really insightful. Apart from that, not academically, personally, if you're interested in understanding marriages and properly understanding your own marriage or marriage of people around you, this particular book is very insightful. And I'm so glad that I picked this up, because no matter how much you know your world, there is always something that is other person's perspective, and that has to be respected, and that has to be understood, and that has to be communicated. So the crux of all is that marriage is not just one factor. There are so many factors that are interplaying in it, and this particular book actually works to give an insight on that and enlightens on that. So if you are looking up to think about all these perspectives about a marriage, especially in the Indian context, do pick up this book. It's a wonderful one. Thank you so much.